Yo, yo, yo. What is the dealio, y'all? What's the dealio? How y'all feeling? How y'all feeling? You already know it's gonna be a banger, right? We about to chart live. We about to find some setups for tomorrow. Okay. We gonna set our Wednesday up and we gonna make some good money tomorrow. All right. And we gonna do it all tonight. All right. So if y'all just tuning in, man, say what's up in the comments. Let me know where y'all tuning in from. Like this video. All right. Best Beezy. What up? What up? How you feeling, bro? Mark Quinn. What's the dealio, bro? All is well over here. We got Shali in the building. What's up, Shali? How you feeling? How you feeling? How's everybody doing out there, man? I hope everybody had a good day in the market today. Right? It was a good day in the market. We had some selling pressure. Okay, QTZ. What's up, QTZ? Who else out there? Tap in the comment section. Let me know where y'all tuning in from. All right, let me know where y'all tuning in from. This live, man. This is for my late night peeps. All right, this is for my late night peeps. This is for the vampires. Right? Darian Newberry, what's up? Tampa, what's up? What's up? How you feeling? Um, Hey, shout out to you for catching Google with us today. All right. Shout out to you, man. How you like that? How you like that? Trees, what's up? What's up, Doria? Got the TPC hitters on deck. I know, right? We about to find some setups, man. All right. If you guys are just tuning in, drop it in the comments. Let me know where y'all tuning in from. Say what's up. Say what's up. All right. So we still got some selling pressure in the market. Okay, the SPY did some. We're gonna go over the SPY. We're gonna go over IWM as well. All right, you already know. We're gonna find some setups with individual stocks. All right. So if y'all are watching, like this video. Let's get this video by the end of this live to 100 likes. All right. Let's get this video to 100 likes. You already know I'm gonna share the sauce. I'm gonna share the setups, and I'm gonna share the analysis as well. Okay. So let's get it popping, man. Let's get it popping. Britt, what's up, Britt? How you feeling? Dr. V, what's up, Dr. V? All right. So we about to analyze what happened today, so we can make sense of the day and we can make sense of the market, and then we gonna get into it. What's up, Doc? How you feeling? Hey, shout out to everybody that murdered the day today. You know what I mean? In the Discord in the group. Tia, what's up, Tia? How you feeling? DT, what up? Yeah, shout out to everybody, man. We had look, we had. I'm gonna let this load real quick. Yeah, shout out to everybody who winning. All right. We had uh we had Doc right here hit SPY for 16%, hit Tesla for 700. All right, that was today. And then we in the profits. We got Nard, right, doing what he do, consistent 23%, 33%, 31%. We got G Dollar, $167 on the day, right? Jamila, $1,500 on the day, right? 20%. Rich Chick, she hit 835 on the SPY, right? Then she hit 650 on IWM, right? Shout out to everybody, man. Shout out to Mark Quinn. Look at all I can't even add all of this up. It's like $600-700. You know what I'm saying? King Corey, 15%. Shali, 82% on Google. Right? Best B always growing his account. Ashley, 30% on Google. Right? Michelle, what she hit? 15%, 28%, right? So Shout out to everybody. Shout out to everybody who, making money every day in the group. Okay. So yeah. So let's get into these charts. All right. And what I'm gonna say is nothing that I'm talking about is financial advice. Okay. Nothing is financial advice. So please seek a financial advisor if that's what you want to do. All right. What up, JVG Miami? Shout out to that. All right. Robin Hood froze on me, taking all the profits. Damn. You got to come over to Team Weeble. You know what I'm saying? I'm feeling good, Dr. V. Darian, yes, sir. Yeah, we going to do it all over again tomorrow again, Darian. You know what I'm saying? So just keep showing up and you're going to keep getting better and better. You're going to keep getting better and better, better and better. And then you're just going to get to a point where you're just killing the game. All right? So we're going to share the screen and let's go break the market down today, y'all. All right? If y'all are tapping in, let me know where y'all tuning in from in the comments. And then like this video as well, okay? So, yeah, come over to Weeble, JVG. All right, so let's look at SPY, right? Yesterday I told you guys the support was 662.21 and 663, right? We broke below the support. We came all the way down to 656. All right, we came all the way down to 656. So let's look at the 30-minute time frame. We came up, right? Fell to up, bearish 3, 2 down, came up right here, and then look what happened. Took a dump, right? We took a nasty dump here. So this is what the SPY did at the end of the day right here, right? So once we broke below that 620, 663, 662 level, had a real nice dump happen at the end of the day. All right. So now let's look at the daily now, right? So on the daily, as you guys can see, all of this, right? All of this. So Rock Young say he hit 17% on SPY. There we go. That's what I'm talking about. Texas by way of Cali. Shout out to Cali and Texas. All right, what's up, JT? So for tomorrow, we closed at 660, right? We closed at 660, and we opened at 662, right? But then we our high was 665. Okay, let's go back to the 30-minute real quick. And I'm sorry, we opened right here and then we pushed down immediately. So that's actually my bad, right? We opened right here and then we pushed down, right? We came up at first, pushed down, right? So you could have saw this fake out and then got in down here, rode it down, right? Rode it down some more, and then boom, we hit this reversal, come up, come down, and then come up, and then we sell off a little bit at the end of the day. So when I'm looking at the SPY, we opened up at 660. I mean, we closed at 660. We got this area right here at 660.77, right? But let's go to the 4-hour real quick. The 4-hour looks bearish still, okay? We got this order block down here to 652, right? To 652, this order block. Now, remember, y'all, right? Remember what I said the other day. I said if SPY loses this 663 level, then we coming down to 657, right? Y'all remember I said that? I hope you guys remember. If we lose 663, then we coming down to 657. So we came down to 655 today, okay? So I want some levels that I want you guys to pay attention to tomorrow if you want to trade the SPY. If you want to trade the SPY, I'm going to give you guys some levels to pay attention to. All right. We might come up to test to the upside. And then if we get above these levels, then we could continue to go up. But if we reject off of these levels, then we could come lower. All right. So what we're going to do is we'll delete these. So I want you guys to pay attention to these levels right here. It's also going to depend on where we open up at. Right? It's also going to depend on where we open up at tomorrow morning. We could gap up, we could gap down, we could open up flat, right? It depends. But your first level, the first level, I want you guys to pay attention to is going to be 661.04. Okay? Level 1. 661.04. All right? I want you guys to focus on this. This is the first level we need to get above. 661.04. Okay? If we open above 661.04, then we're going to come up to 664.57. All right? Rejection point. 664.57. All right? So these are the two levels that I want you guys to pay attention to tomorrow for the SPY. All right? If we get above 661.04, then you could enter in the calls and you can ride it up to 664.57. Now we have previous day low right here. And then also we have the previous week low right here at 663. So it could reject off of this level or this level as well before we get to 664. All right. So a big move is getting ready to come to SPY. Now, these are levels to coming up to the upside, right? To come to the downside, I want you guys to look at 658.69, okay? I'm going to give you guys a couple levels to the downside. All right, so levels, downside levels. All right, we got 658.67 first. 658.67. All right. Boom. So this is the first level I want you guys to pay attention to. 658.67. All right. Now, if we get below there, then we should be coming down to 657.94. Okay? And if we get below there, then we're going to come down and we're going to test this candle right here, 655.85. All right? So these are going to be your downside levels right here. Right? Make sure you guys, if you guys trade SPY, make sure these levels are written out. All right? Written out. SPY is going to make a big move, probably in pre-market. Right? It's either going to gap up to 664 potentially, or it's going to be down here, and then we're going to be coming down to 653 to this order block on the 4 hour. It's a lot of sellers sitting in this area right here, right? It's a lot of sellers sitting in this area right here. So if we lose 653, then we coming down to that 647 level like I mentioned a couple days ago. Okay? But when I'm looking at the 4 hour chart, I'm seeing, this is what I'm seeing. I'm seeing this little pennant being formed. It's like squeezing, right? When you look at it, it's kind of squeezing right here, okay? So we got this squeeze right here, right? So it's squeezing right here in this area, right? After we see a move to the downside, okay? Boom, right? So we had a move to the downside action, and now we're creating this little pennant, right? So you could call it a bull flag or a bear flag or a bear pennant, but this is what I see on the SPY, right? On the 4 hour time frame. So if we break below this flag right here, then we coming down, right? And where are we coming down to? If we break below here, we could be coming down to 640. This move to the downside could send us down to 640. Okay? So if we lose that, and that coincides with that 647 level that I was talking about, right? So, because as you can see, we got this area right here, and we got this, it's right here again, okay? So if we lose this area, then we're coming down to 653, 652. And if we lose that, then we're going to come lower down to 647. All right, 647, 645 area. Okay, this stuff is very important. So I hope that you guys have your levels mapped out and you guys are writing these levels down. I'm giving you the keys, right, to unlock money tomorrow in the stock market. All right. So that is a very thorough explanation of the SPY for tomorrow's game plan. If you guys understand that, then let me know in the comments. If that makes sense, let me know in the comments. All right. Drez, what's up? What's up? Gotta love a consolidation candle on a higher time frame. Yeah, because when that consolidation hits, it's a wrap. You know, once it breaks a level, it's going in that direction, straight up. Right? Appreciate that, Davita. Right? These levels, they don't be missing. Okay? I'm not here to tell you what to trade. I'm here to help you learn how to trade. There's a difference, right? The difference is, if I just say, hey, buy this, you ain't gonna know how to trade. If I teach you how to trade, it don't matter what you trade because the way you trade, the how is taken care of. All right. Now let's go over IWM, my baby, right? Let's see what's up with IWM. If you guys are watching and you have not liked this video, okay, as we progress through this live, do me a favor real quick and just like this video, okay? Subscribe to the YouTube channel. I'm showing up every day and giving you guys real life-changing information, not the fabricated stuff just to get you interested. I'm giving you guys substance, right? I'm giving you guys depth, right? Layered information, helping you understand the game, helping you with your psychology, all right? Like the video. Drop in the comments where y'all tuning in from. Let's keep this thing going. All right. What up, Johnny? What's up, Alex? All right, let's go to IWM. All right. So if we look on a daily, right here. IWM is on a failed 2 down, right? So let's look at it. IWM is on a failed 2 down on a daily time frame, okay? But what do we see? What do we have? We have, what's up, Andre? How you feeling? What's up, Psychos? Look, so right here on the daily, we got a failed 2 down, but we do have some selling pressure right here, right? We got selling pressure right here. Because we have selling pressure here, potentially we could go down, right? This is going to be predicated on, are we rebounding and recovering, or are we going to continue our downtrend without a pullback, right? But as you can see, the last time we came down to this level, look what happened. We bounced up, right? I want to show you, right? Pay attention to right here and pay attention to right here, okay? And then we got right here, okay? So just look at that, right? Look at that. Boom and boom. So the last time we came down here, look what happened. We went all the way up. So for tomorrow on IWM, this level, this area is going to be critical, okay? Critical. All right. What's up, Angie? JT. That is my Lux Algo. All right. Lux Algo price action concepts. It's a pay indicator, right? I'm going to do a video on it real soon here. Okay. I love the way you explain and break it down. You won't find anyone else like Isiah. Trust me, try to join TPC. It will change your life. It's changed mine. Hey, shout out to that, Jamila. Appreciate that. You know what I'm saying? We get money over here. He said, sold out of 4 strategies today. Out of 5, took the loss for about 2.5K. Hey, what I would say is, honestly, right, that 2.5K, just come join the Discord so we could help you so you don't lose another 2,000, another 1,500, right? Like, come on. You know what I'm saying? Like, come join, right? That's a lot of positions that you have. You just took a $2,500 L, right? Let's dial it back, right? Come learn the strategy. Come learn the system and how we trade. We'll get that money back and 10 times that, okay? Come learn the strategy on how we trade. All right. So I think we're going to bounce yet again and come back down. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. So we're going to see. We definitely going to see. I'm not sold to the upside just yet, right? So yeah. So like I was saying on IWM, we got to pay attention to this level right here, right? So for IWM, I'm going to say, I want you guys, so we close at 233.47. Let me look at the 4-hour real quick. All right. So here's the level that I want you guys to pay attention to. 234.16. Okay. Upside levels. All right. 234.16. $234.16. Okay. If we get above 234.16, then we should be coming up, right? And then now we go to the daily. And then the next level would be 235.10. Okay. Number 2. 235.10. Okay. If it's above 234.16, you could enter in the calls. You could ride it up to 235.10, right? And if it gets above 235.10 and it stays above there, you could stay in it and then ride it up. And it could come up to 236.30, right? And if we get above 236.30, then it's going to come up to 237.83. All right? Those are your levels to pay attention to. Okay? For IWM to the upside. All right? Alex, he said, I learned so much in the past 6 months from the group. Hey, TPC for life, man. I'm telling you, right? When you lock in, you're going to understand things on a different level. We're going to open your mind up, and your life going to be different. I could almost guarantee that if you're willing to put the time in. All right? He said, for sure. I do watch your videos every day, watching all the levels, but I think I rushed it. Hey, it happens, right? I done taken some nasty L's in my days, refining my strategy, really learning and understanding. Like I said before, my biggest loss in a day has been $17,000, and that was realized, right? I had to take that L, right? But it's all good, right? I learned from that. I won't have a loss that big ever again unless I'm leveraging, you know what I'm saying, 200,000 in a trade and I'm down 3%. You see what I'm saying? I will never lose, you know, that amount of money again on a trade because of I'm a lot better and a lot smarter now, right? So I feel you on that L, but I want you to really make sure that you understand. So whether it's joining the Discord or you could book a one-on-one and we could really, really go through your strategy, go through your setup, and we could really create that so we could help make you as profitable as possible, right? And efficient as possible as a trader, okay? So book a one-on-one, join the Prosperity Collective, whichever one it is, fine with me. I just don't want you losing thousands of dollars when you don't have to, okay? So now we got, so like I said, we got IWM to the upside, right? These are going to be your upside levels. I hope you guys wrote these down. Okay. Next, let's go to the downside, right? 230.97 is going to be your downside level. 230.97. Downside levels. Okay. 230.97. All right. 230.97 is my downside level. Right? Now, if we break below 230.97 and then we come down, we're going to be coming down to 229.39. Okay? We coming down to 229.39. If we break the level of 230.97, we're going to come down and we're going to come down to 229.39. Okay? And in this area is probably where we would bounce at 229. Okay? So we also could be coming down further because on a daily time frame, I don't see any bullish divergence. I'm not saying we can't reverse, but I'm not seeing any bullish divergence. I'm not seeing bullish divergence. So I don't think a full-blown reversal is happening yet. Now, we could have a green day tomorrow, but I'm not seeing bullish divergence. So we could continue to come down. Even if we come up a little bit, we could be coming up to come down. Okay. So I think that IWM realistically is going to be coming down to 225 maybe over the next week or two, right? That is a high probability. Okay. We are on a failed two down, right? But we got a lot of selling pressure right here. And because we got a lot of selling pressure right here today, then, you know what I'm saying? I would truly say sellers could be pushing the stock down, and then we could be coming down to this order block right here, which is 225. Right? So when you're in a downtrend, right? Always remember this, right? Always remember this. And I'm speaking from the strat method perspective. When you're in a downtrend, the priority is a failed two up. When you're in a uptrend, the priority is a failed two down. Okay? So when I see failed two down candles on downtrends, they're going to fail. They're not going to pan out. Right? But when I see a failed two up on a downtrend, I know that we're going to be going lower, and that's going to push the stock down. Okay? So that's just something for you guys. Right? If you don't know what a failed two up is and a failed two down, come join the Discord, come learn how to actually trade the strat method. Right? I primarily focus on the strat method. That's how I make my entries. That's how I take my exits. That's how I trade. That's how I swing trade. That's how I day trade. That's how I scalp trade. Okay? And ever since I've learned how to trade with the strat method, and I've been creating my formula and my strategy and my system, I've been able to 3 to 4x my profits. Okay? My average percentage per trade, what I used to do is I used to put more money into a trade. So let's say I used to put 2,000 into a trade, and I would get 8 to 10%, and I would be good with that. Now I could go put $1,000 in a trade, and I could go get 40%, and I could make way more money because now my understanding is way better, right? My strategy is way better, way more refined, right? So when I learned the strat method took me to a whole nother dimension, right? It took me to a whole nother stratosphere, right? This is how I'm able to tell you guys where a stock is going and be very accurate, very consistent, okay? So, you know what I'm saying? Like, keep all of this in mind, all right? He said, sorry, you said on a downtrend. Okay. On a downtrend, right? If you see a failed two up, it's going to be coming down because the momentum is a downtrend, right? So if you see a failed two down on a downtrend, don't believe it, right? It could come up for a day maybe, but the priority becomes failed two ups when we're in downtrends. When we're in uptrends, the priority is a failed two down, right? Because we want to follow where the momentum of the market is going, right? So if we're in a bullish uptrend, then I'm going to be looking for failed two downs to go higher. If we're in a bearish downtrend, I'm going to be looking for failed two ups so that we could go lower, right? This is how we understand the game, and this is how we really get some real money, okay? This is the part of the strat method that they're not going to teach you because this isn't a setup like that. This is something that you got to just be paying attention to and formulate your own sauce, right? So this is how I'm creating my sauce. Because I know for a fact, nobody on the internet is talking about this. People barely trade the strat as is because they think whatever they think, I don't care, right? But Nobody is giving this sauce because not a lot of people know about it, right? Or if they do know about it, they being stingy with it and they gatekeeping. Okay? So, he said, how would you play the reversal? I would wait for a confirmation, right? I would wait for a confirmation. I would wait for reclamation of certain levels, right? And I will also wait to see if I see some bullish divergence as well. Because if you look, right? If you look at, okay, so we're on a daily right now. Let's go look at the weekly. On the weekly, we're on a 2-down candle. So on the weekly, I would need to see maybe a failed 2-down candle here to close out this week. Then I would know, okay, if IWM, right, watch this. If IWM ends on a failed 2-down this week, then I know that IWM is going to come back up to 246. Right? But, watch this, but this failed 2-down on the daily time frame could be a joke and it could be a trap. Right? So you got to know when to swing failed 2-downs, but you also got to know when to not swing it and wait until it breaks the next day. You don't swing every failed 2-down, right? If we're in a strong downtrend, I'm not going to swing failed 2-downs to the upside just yet, right? If it don't break above the body of a failed 2-down, that sucker going lower. Now, facts. Exactly. So that's lets you know, right? Like this is real. You're not going, I'm telling you guys, I didn't search and search and search. You're not going to find the sauce about these failed candles on the internet. It just don't, it ain't even no books about the strat like that. For real. But this is the most powerful trading strategy and methodology that I have come across in my journey of trading. That's why I'm so adamant about it, because it makes trading so simple. I'm not going to say easy, but it makes it very simple. And you allow yourself to mitigate your losses tremendously. Okay, tremendously. And you're going to increase your gains and profits tremendously. Right? So, learn more. Hey, Isaiah, sorry, you said on a, yeah. I'm going to say this one more time. On a downtrend, right? If you see a stock is in a downtrend, the priority is going to become a failed 2 up, because that's going to let you know that the downtrend is going to continue, right? If you see a failed 2 down on a downtrend, that could be a fake out, right? In an uptrend, the priority becomes a failed 2 down for us to go higher. Okay? So keep that in mind. You want to go with the momentum. You don't want to go against the momentum. Right? So now let's go. And so we talked about SPY and we talked about IWM. Right? SPY and IWM. So now we're going to find some other setups with regular stocks. Okay? And before we find setups with regular stocks, I'm going to show you guys a perfect example. You still, with learning a strat and trading a strat, you still want to know how to read price action. That's the key. Price action, right? Learning how to read the candlesticks. When you read the candlesticks, if you see a failed 2 down, but it has a massive wick at the top of the candle and the body is small, then don't take a trade to the upside until it breaks above that. Because all of that wick, that could be nothing but selling pressure. And even though it's a failed 2 down, it could still be coming down. Right? So, exactly. Don't try to predict the reversal. If you try to predict the reversal, you're going to get cooked. Just go with the momentum. Be a bandwagon fan, right? In sports, it's looked down upon to be a bandwagon fan, right? but be a bandwagon fan. Whatever trend is hot, take a trade in that direction. Stop trying to be the outlier, right? Stop trying to be the smartest one in the room and be like, I knew it was going to go in this direction opposite of what it's doing right now. Go with the momentum so you can make easy money, right? So yeah, JT, that's how I would play the reversal. I would wait to see a reversal signal on the weekly time frame, and then I would wait for stocks to get above the high of the previous week. That's how I would play the reversal. Because when you got a big downtrend like this, you can't rely on the daily time frame because it could just be a pop and then come lower. So I need to see a reversal sign on a bigger time frame, right? Let me give you an example. Look at the SPY, right? If you go to the SPY on the monthly time frame, right? Look at the SPY on the monthly time frame, right? Okay. This right here was in April, right? This is April's candle right here. Big dip, and then boom, right? Now, it took all month for this candle to form. But if you go to the weekly time frame, let's go to April real quick. March right here. Perfect. Let's look at this. This is in March, right? To April, to the first week. First week of April, the market tanks all the way down to 481. But then it closes on a failed to down on the weekly time frame. And then what happens? It consolidates for another week. And then what happens? It breaks above it and then it blasts off. Okay? So this is what I mean. This is how you play that reversal. You find this reversal on the weekly and then you wait for it to break above the weekly's candle and then you go and you take it higher. That's how you play the game. Okay? That's how you play the game. This is real life stuff, y'all. This is how we change our lives in the stock market. This is why I say the more you study, the less you worry. Because when you understand this information and you compound this information over time, your life changes forever. Forever, forever, forever. You become an ATM machine because the stock market becomes your ATM machine. All right? So now, I know that's been a lot, but I be wanting to make sure that I give real value to you guys, right? Now let's go find some stocks and some setups, right? We went over SPY, we went over IWM, we went over trends, right? We went over finding reversals, all of this stuff. Now let's go find some more setups for tomorrow, all right? Off of the daily time frame, okay? If you guys are watching this and you have not, put it in the comments. Let me know where y'all tuning in from and like this video. If y'all getting real value from this video, then like this video, okay? If y'all get real value from any of the videos that I put out, then like the videos, right? That's all we need is that support in a digital world, okay? Like it, subscribe to the channel, all right? Share this with somebody you know trying to get some money, trying to learn the stock market. I make this stuff very simple that even a third grader could learn this, okay? So let's go and let's go find some setups now, okay? So we went over SPY and IWM. Let's go affirm. So, all right, they had boom. So they already did their thing. We got Dell. I was talking about Dell. Today they made a nice move to the upside. Came up to 127, 128, right? Look at Dell, right? They had a nice move up right here. I was talking about them. They came back down though, but this area right here, On Dale, this area right here, this is a great entry for swings. You know what I'm saying? 3 months out. This entry right here could make you rich. You get in at this area right here and you let it sit for 2 months, you're gonna be up over 100%. You're gonna double your money. Okay. We got Robinhood. This is gonna be a setup that I'm looking at, right? We got a gap to fill to the downside. Yes, we are on a failed to up. A failed to down, but we got a lot of sellers stepped in right here. So I'm actually gonna be looking at hood. That's gonna be a priority right here. Downside gap fill. All right. So hood. Yeah, I said it, JT. But if nobody heard it, I am not a financial advisor, right? Go get help from a financial advisor if that's what you want. I'm just sharing what I'm seeing on the charts. All right. So appreciate that, JT. So we got a gap to the downside on Robinhood. So I definitely am looking at shorts tomorrow. Okay. If we break below 112, that's all she wrote. They ain't coming down to 109. They got a gap all the way down here to 106. Okay. Down to 106. And this area right here is an area you wanna really be able to get into Robinhood. Okay. Robinhood for sure coming to the downside. If they come to the downside some more, that's where you could buy at. If they get below 100, that's even better. All right. Next, Intel. They probably could be coming down to this area right here, $30. They got a gap to fill down here as well, $26. That's the 200 EMA, so we got to see. All right, Nvidia. Nvidia, they got earnings tomorrow after the market, so that's another thing. They earnings is gonna make the market move on Thursday morning, right? We got to see what direction. This is why I haven't really taken any swings. I'm just day trading. Okay. We got Shopify failed to down, but we got this gap down here, so we gonna see, right? If Shop continues to come lower, if they get below 133, then they coming down. But I don't like any setups on them for tomorrow. Uber, once again, Uber is doing what they do. They play games, right? Uber plays games. They just play games, y'all. So I don't mess with Uber. Is weird. Applied, I like Applied in this area for a bounce to the upside. If we go to the 4-hour, it looks like a little bullish, not bullish divergence, a little slight double bottom. It's a slanted double bottom, but they could be coming up. But for tomorrow, it's a failed two down, so they could come up to $24, $24.64 tomorrow. So I'm gonna put APLD on there. APLD failed two down. Google, they did. So if y'all watched my video earlier, today, we smacked Google. Okay. If you guys was in the Discord today, then you already know we smacked Google and IWM. And we was on a roller coaster ride with Google. They was playing a lot of games. I was down 32%. I didn't get scared out. And I ended with 15% profit, which was solid. Okay. So for Google, a lot of buyers stepped in on Google. So I'm going to wait and see what happens tomorrow for Google. So I'm not really looking at them. Yeah, I'm not really looking at them. They got a lot of stuff going on. I don't like that candle today. So yeah, it's a lot of buyers in this area. So we could be going to the upside, right? HIMS on a daily. We got a 2-1 setup, so Hims could come up to touch $38 tomorrow. So we got to see what happens. Palantir, they could be coming down some more. Palantir could be coming down to shit. They could be coming down all the way down to 150. Okay. So Palantir, Carvana, Nike. Nike look like they about to form a double bottom, right? If Nike comes back down here to $60, you could get ready for a bounce, and then they could pop up to the upside, right? Um, he said Uber's a red flag. I know, right? For real. So many people made a bag today because of you. Walked us through the play. Yeah. It was. Hey, it was a roller coaster, but hey, we did our thing, right? Jamila made $1,500 today, right? So that's how we get down, man. We got AMD. AMD looks like they on a double bottom right here. They look like they on a double bottom right here. So let's see the 4 hour. Yeah, they look like they're on a double bottom on a daily. So we'll see. If what's up, Wes? How you feeling? She said you won't find coaching like this anywhere. I would agree with you, Jamila. If AMD gets above this area, then they could go up and try to come back up to 263. Yeah, I'll check lift in a minute. We got TSLL, SoFi. SoFi looks like they're about to come down. If SoFi gets below 25.67, then they're gonna come down to this area right here. $24. Yeah, $24 is where they could come down to. But I don't like a setup for tomorrow. We got Lyft. Lyft is on a fail 2 down. So they really got to get above 22.29 tomorrow to go higher. So yeah. That's what's up with them. Circle. Amazon. Amazon had a bloody day today. So they came right down here. I don't even know how I missed this one. Let's see. So they had a red candle right here off the 30-minute. And then they came down some more. Came up, down. So, yeah. I don't like how this chart looked. So, M-Phase, CoreWeave, Meta, Lululemon, Tesla. Okay. We got CrowdStrike. They came down. Adobe. Adobe looks like. Let's see. Adobe looks like they got a double bottom here. Right? Adobe looks like they're on a double bottom. So if Adobe gets above 327.48, then they could be coming up to 339, right? So I'm going to put Adobe right here on my long-term swings. And I'm going to put ADBE. I'm going to put double bottom. Okay. You call Amazon on Sunday? Yeah. Yeah. Hey, that's what we do, man. We get busy in the stock market every day. Right? On me grind, what up? So I might need to join. I just been on futures because options, I guess, was still picking bad ones. It'll go up 50% instantly, but I'll hold. Yeah. So it's about trading, right? It's about knowing when to take profit, when to stay in. And it's about compounding, right? If you up 50% and you put $1,000 in a trade, that's $500, right? Take that $500 as long as it's time for you to get out, and then you get into another trade, you make another $300. Now you at 800 for the day. Then you do that 5 times in a week, right? What's 8 times 5? What is 8 times 5, right? 8, 16, 24, 32, 40. That's $4,000 in a week. And you just keep rinsing and repeating, right? People say that futures is better than or easier than stocks. There's no decay. But at the end of the day, when you learn how to trade and you understand the instrument, now when you're making money with with options, you also already know and understand like, oh, okay, I already know what stocks to buy, right? For my investments for the long term. See, that's the thing, right? That's why I chose stock options over futures, because number one, when people say something is harder than something else, I'm gonna always go to the thing that's harder because I want to learn the hardest thing first, right? Because I feel like that makes me a certain type of individual, right? It makes you a different breed. It's no shade to anybody starting in futures, but I was like, I want to learn the hardest thing, right? So that way, when I start doing different things, I already got the hardest thing out the way, right? So that's why I chose to focus on stock options. But also, if you only trade futures, you still gonna need to understand the stock market if you want to invest into the stock market, right? Buying shares. So because I was like, I want to learn how to trade stock options, I knew that learning how to trade stock options is going to help me with my analysis with companies, right? Therefore, I didn't have to trade futures and then also learn stock options. I just had to learn stock options, and I was going to learn what stocks to buy in the process, and that was going to make it easier for me, right? So that's why I chose stock options for those reasons right there, right? It's about vertical integration, and you got to think about certain things a certain way. That's how I look at it, right? So, break the cycles. She said, I might need to join. I don't know, break the cycle. She said, you stay, support us after 11 a.m. Oh yeah. Yeah, we was in that trade for like 45 minutes maybe. And I was on that trade the whole time. I wanted to get off, but I was like, I don't want it to quickly drop and then people miss out and then they lose money, right? So yeah, we stayed on there for a good minute today. All right. She said you were holding our hands today in those trades. Yeah, we was all locked in today. Do I trade in the money? Not a lot. I used to, right? But I started trading out of the money because I understood the strat method. And when I understood the strat method, I started coupling that with out of the money. That's how I started increasing my profits. That's how I can get 30, 40, 50% return on my money in 2 to 3 minutes. And this is no cap. Everybody inside of the Discord, they're experiencing the exact same thing, right? We getting big returns, right, in a couple minutes. That's not including the day trades, right? So honestly, I'm willing to say I'm nice at trading, right? Like honestly, I'm nice at trading. In the money, I used to do it, but the more I got seasoned, I started really, dibbling, dabbling with out of the money. And when I started really getting it, I'll do in the money if I'm swinging long term or something like that. But I'm no longer afraid of out of the money contracts. All right. I'm right trading. It's just futures. If I hold up more, but or it goes in a direction, but I still lose. Options not hard. I just don't know why I'm right and still lose futures when you're right. I got 80% win rate on gold. Yeah, I be hearing about gold. I be hearing about gold a lot with futures. Appreciate that, Wes. Charts are getting clearer every day because of these lives, videos, trading sessions. Yep, we learn every day. Yep, exactly. Adam said lower risk as well because you don't have to leverage as much. Exactly, right? So that's what I'm saying, right? If I'm used to putting, I was just talking about this in yesterday's live. If I'm gonna sit here and trade Meta, and I'm gonna put $1,500 in one contract, right? Think about this. If I put $1,500 in one contract, right? Let's say I'm down by 15%. Well, let's just say 50, let's say 10%. I'm down 150, right? Okay. And then it makes a $3 move and I'm up 15%. That's cool, right? That's $200. But I had to put up $1,500 to make $250. But if I go put $500 into IWM, I could make 50% and make more money than if I would have got Meta and got that $1,500 contract. So I'm exposing myself to less risk, right? But I'm still able to make more. So that's how I look at it, right? It ain't about what you trade, it's about how you trade it. Okay? So yeah. Twice a week, 2 study session class every week. These videos also active in the chat, all day support. Yeah, that's how we get down. Britt said that's how I started trading out of the money. Oh, okay. So you was like Bone Crusher. You was never scared, huh? For real. Stu said I told y'all hood was trash. Yeah, they coming down. They coming down for sure. But let's look at what else we got. So Adobe, they on the double bottom right here. Okay. Adobe is on this double bottom. We got Webull. Webull is, man, they just doing what they do. OKLO. Boom. Yeah, IWM be going crazy. They go crazy. SMCI, they're holding this level right here, but I'm not going to mess with them. Pan W, they got earnings tomorrow after close, I believe. Oracle, they on a 3-bar. I'll look at Oracle to the upside tomorrow. If Oracle could get above this 200 EMA right here so Oracle could be coming up to 226 tomorrow. We do got this 200 EMA right here, and we also have this level right here, 226, and we got 224. Yeah, 224. Then they could come up higher. So I'm gonna put Oracle on here. Okay. 3-bar. Bullish. Okay. I'll see if I could do CLSK in a minute. Let me get through my list first. All right. Failed 2 down on VRT. Netflix. I told y'all Netflix is going to be a banger. So I might put Netflix on my list for tomorrow. We got a 3-bar right here. As long as Netflix could stay above 113.11, then they go into the upside, right? So I'm going to put Netflix on my list now. Okay. A 3-bar. Bullish. Okay. Alibaba, they on a 3-bar bullish, but I ain't gonna mess with Alibaba. I'm kind of cool off of Chinese stocks, honestly. So MRK went crazy today. They on a 3-bar. You see? So this is what I'm talking about. This one candle right here. Yesterday they was on a 1 candle, and then look what happened. They broke above that 1 candle. They went up what? $3. Okay? They went up $3. Go to the 30-minute. They went up that first hour of the market. Just went straight up. Okay? Straight up. And then they consolidated right here. So I'm actually going to look at MRK to the upside tomorrow because they got this bullish 3-bar on a daily time frame. All right? So we got MRK. We got 3-bar bullish. Okay? We got Celsius. They ain't gonna do nothing right now. APP. We got Marvell. He said, can we talk about NVIDIA earnings? I think the market's sleeping on it. Out of all the big tech stocks that's been ripping, NVIDIA, one of the few that's actually have the fundamentals under the hood. Man, so that's the thing about NVIDIA earnings, right? I remember, I think it was last year. Yeah, it was last year sometime. I think it was last quarter. the last quarter of the last year. Play Nvidia earnings. They beat earnings, and then they did nothing, right? So we saw Palantir beat right at $206. Ever since they beat, they didn't drop. So it's like me personally, I don't I don't trade. I'm not saying you trade earnings, but I wait and see what happens because a lot of the times those contracts get IV crushed and then they become valueless. So I let them go to the downside, right, or fizzle out, get IV crushed, and then I'll take my entry based on the trend that stock goes in. But this Nvidia could be a a thing where it makes the stock market go up or down. It could be a catalyst, right? So all of this pullback could be for Nvidia to beat earnings, and then we start our uptrend going back to the upside. Okay, because Nvidia is the biggest company in the stock market, right? In New York Stock Exchange. So we just got to see what happens, right? We got AVGO, we got SoundHound, we got XYZ. Okay, XYZ look like they could be coming down. What else we got? Microsoft. Is that a Jewish money laundering scheme? I feel you. I feel you. We got Microsoft. Ain't doing nothing. Okay, so look at Microsoft here, y'all. Okay. So somebody said, could I explain bullish divergence in the comments? I saw you, right? Even though I didn't answer it immediately, but this is a perfect example, right? So we got a lower low on the charts, right? On a daily time frame, we got a lower low, but on the RSI, we got a higher low, okay? So whenever you see a higher low on the RSI, but you see a lower low on the charts, then that's a sign that the stock market gonna be, or that stock is gonna be coming up. So Microsoft looks like it got bullish divergence. So I'm gonna put that on my long-term swings. Bullish divergence. Okay. Inside order block. Okay, that's what I see on Microsoft at order block. So I would be getting in. I might swing them. Okay. Do I trade oil? I used to trade ExxonMobil a lot. I used to trade CVX. A lot of people, if you've been in the Prosperity Collective since we started, I used to trade XOM all the time. All the time. We was trading CVX as well, right? But I don't like track them all the time, but I do be paying attention to like certain commodities to kind of see what's going on. Yeah, if Nvidia dumps and it makes the market come down Wednesday after market, we don't know, right? It can make the market flush some more, or it can make the market put, short term stay up, have a little pump up, and then come down lower again. All right, so we just got to see. All right. So what else we got? She said, for anybody worried about the cost of joining, it's $150 a month. I have never had under a $200 day here, and that's my lowest. The fee is $7.5 over 20 trading days, and that's powerful. She said she never had lower than a $200 day, right? Shout out to that, Jamila, for real. I appreciate you sharing that. All right, we got Delta Airlines. Delta Airline look like they on a double bottom as well. We got ARM. We got Apple. They on a bearish 3-bar. So I like Apple to the downside. Okay. 3-bar bearish. Okay. What up, Swell Hunter? Hey, Stu, talk to me about how that RSI. So the thing about it is with the RSI, I only use it to find bullish and bearish divergence. I don't use it as an indicator for me to enter into a trade. I use it for bullish and bearish divergence. That's the only thing I use it for. When I first started trading, I always used it. And whenever it was up high, I would think I'm getting in the puts and it's going to come down, but I would get faked out all the time, right? And I had to learn how to really read that price action. But I just use it to find bullish and bearish divergence now. Citigroup, DoorDash. I told y'all, look at what DoorDash did. They was on a 3-bar on Friday, came up to 211. If you would have taken it, 211, and today they hit 214, 213, right? That's a $4 move, $5 move, and that's it, right? And they come up to 220, right? UAL. I like this UAL setup. They got a 212 bullish setup. So I'm going to put United Airlines, UAL, 212, bullish, reversal. Okay. So, I mean, yeah. I don't, the RSI is just a tool. It ain't even a decision maker for me. Right. IBM look like they coming straight down to at least 279. Yeah, it is. To me, it's useless. I will say it's useless. The only thing is that divergence, right? Because like right here, we got a lower low and it looked like, okay, we could recover, but I don't see bullish divergence right here. So it's not a reversal for me yet, right? ANET, they came down today. Like I said, they broke that level, came down. GLD, they look like they could be starting to come back to the upside, but we got to see. We got FedEx, failed 2 down right here. We got Lockheed Martin. We got Taiwan Semiconductors, IBIT. I think they could be coming down some more over the next month or two. We got XOM Mobile, failed 2 down. Who else we got? United Healthcare. They look like they trying to bounce. Boom, boom. So look, UNH has bullish divergence. It's small, right? But it's still bullish divergence right here. So UNH looks like they're coming to the upside. They could be reversing here and coming to the upside. Hey Stu, I could tell you was smart before I even started watching. Hey, I appreciate that. You know what I'm saying? Appreciate that. Coinbase look like they could be coming down because when you look at this gravestone doji, look at oh my goodness. There's no body and a big wick on the upside and no buying pressure. Look at Coinbase, right? They tried to come up, they came down. And so I'm gonna look at Coinbase to the downside. They could flush to 258 and below. Okay. Coinbase could have a crazy red day tomorrow. So I'm gonna look at Coinbase to the downside. Gravestone Doji. Okay. Gravestone Doji on Coinbase. MU, I think over time is going to be coming down, but they may come back up and then come down. And like MU be playing games because look at this uptrend, right? You don't see any crazy breakouts. You see come up, come down, retrace, come up, come down, retrace. So they might take some time to come to the downside. Right. Silver, Tempest, Duolingo, Reddit. Okay, Ionic trying to come up. Rocket Lab, Iran, QBTS, Oscar. I like OSCR. They got a 3-bar on the daily as well. So OSCR bullish, 3-bar, 3-bar bullish. Okay. RGTI. Hey, if y'all watching, like this video for me, okay? Like this video. All we doing is finding setups for tomorrow. I went over to SPY. I went over IWM, right? So I gave you guys some real things, right? HPE, Caterpillar, all right. And Datadog. I looked at Datadog. They coming down. I'm gonna put Datadog on the to the downside as well. My whole watch list from this week hit already. It hit already. Bearish continuation. Okay. Thoughts on gold. So I was just on their thing. So gold looks like there's a lot of buyers in this area right here. Okay. They had a little double bottom right here, bounced up, came down right here. So gold, if they can get above 375.47, they gonna come up to 378. All right, so they're gonna make a $4 move once they get above yesterday's or today's highs. All right, and then they got a gap to fill up here, but we got sellers sitting right here. So we could come up here and reject, or we could come break through here and then really start to create this uptrend, and then boom. All right. So so that's what I'm looking at for gold. And then let's look at CLSK. I know Savon been put CLSK in the chat like 35 times. Right? Yeesh. They at $10 right now. Let's go to the weekly. Oh wow. All I see is, okay, so CLSK, if they do come up, they're gonna come up to $12.59. If they reject off of $12.59, they're gonna come right back down to this $9 mark right here. Right? This looks like they're trying to reverse here, but I think we got a little bit more room and we could come down another dollar, down to $9 right here. All right. Say sponsored by CLSK, I know, right? For real. All right, so boom. That's CLSK. And then stocks. AMAT, they was down slightly. AMAT is gonna have a nice strong day tomorrow. They're either gonna have a crazy day to the upside, or they're getting ready to dump and they're gonna come down to like 203, 207. So I'm gonna put AMAT on my list as well. Okay. We on a 1-bar on a daily. Okay. 1-bar daily. Okay. That's a 2-1-2 setup. For today, for tomorrow, if AMAT breaks above the high, then you take entries on calls. If it breaks below the low, you take entry on puts, right? That's the weekly. My bad. Let's go to the daily. On the daily, they're right here. So, okay, so let me reverse that real quick. My bad. All right? My bad. So, if you go to, we're going to take that off. We're going to take AMAT off, because that was on the weekly time frame. On the daily time frame, I'm not going to do anything just yet, because right here, we just got we got a 2 down right here. We got to see. So I'm not going to look at AMAT tomorrow. All right. Somebody said macro strategy. MSTR strategy. Let's see. They at 200. They got some issues. They might try to come up to 216 and then reject and then come lower. If they can get above 216, then they're going to try to come up to like 235, right? So yeah. Yeah, they gotta get above 216 and then they gonna come. But I don't really like this setup. If anything, just shares, but they're in an order block right here, and it looks like they could be getting ready to bounce and go to the upside. All right. Um, so he said you already had it charted, or do you have a layover like a script that auto analyze technicals and give you signals? Um, nah. So yeah, I never charted CLSK. Right. I never charted CLSK. This is my Lux Algo. This is my order block. So on every chart, no matter what, it gives me an equilibrium zone. It gives me all the fair value gaps, and it gives me order blocks so I can see where the buyers and sellers are sitting at. And then I can just look at my levels throughout the day. But yeah, so that's what I use for that. Target. Let's see how low they at right now. They back at 88. Damn, you said they got earnings tomorrow. 808 banger. What's up? What up? What up? Good to see you joining, man. All right, so Target, they got earnings tomorrow, so we gonna see what happens with Target. Do I see any order blocks? I do not see any order blocks. Let's go to the monthly time frame. On the monthly time frame, they could be coming down to like $62, right? We do have to see where they gap up to or down to. On the weekly time frame, we don't have any real crazy areas down here. So, but up here we got 105. So we gonna see what happens. All right, and then we got Intuit, and then we'll hop up off of here. I ain't even know it's been an hour and a half. INTU. Okay. So Intuit. Let's look. All right, so they are. So Intuit, they're forming this little pennant as well. So we got boom. This is on the weekly. Let's go to the daily real quick. Okay, so on the daily time frame, it looks like they're about to come down, right? They got a one candle right here. So if they break below 644.04, ride them down. They could be coming down to 633, right? If they get above like 662, then they could be coming up. But on the weekly, right? On the weekly time frame, I'm seeing a bear pennant as well, right here. Boom. Right? And then boom. Okay. So I see a bear pennant right here. So if we get a break below, like right here, 633, then this thing right here is going to come all the way down to, this thing could come all the way down to like, yep, right here, this order block right here, all the way down to like 546, all right, or at least 588. Okay, so that's what I see on Intuit. All right. Yeah, once Target bottoms out, it's gonna be solid to buy. But they just keep coming lower. They tried to come up and then they rejected and then they came down. So yeah. Y'all, we've been on here for a minute, right? If you guys got value out of this, before you hop off, please like this video. All right. I hope that you guys are ready for tomorrow. All right. I hope that y'all got value. So what I'm gonna do is, let's go over the setups one more time that I said, right? I said I'm going to be looking at Robinhood to the downside, right? Robinhood to the downside, that's a high priority for me. And then we got the other one. I like MRK and I like Netflix off of them 3 bars. Okay. I also like Oscar. Okay. Oscar right here. Okay. Coinbase, they could dump crazy tomorrow, but we got to see what happens. All right, but these are my main setups right here. And I broke a lot of these stocks down already. So yeah, like these are my setups. I'm literally giving you setups. These are my long-term swing setups that I like as well. Okay, so that's what I'm looking at tomorrow. All right. Mark Quinn said, man, this brother is special, really over delivering every day, putting people in the most honorable way. On the good, but hey, appreciate that. Yeah. Yeah, book the call, join the collective, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's really change your life and let's really help you see the market clearly. Okay. If y'all want to join the Discord, if you want to book a one-on-one, all the links are always going to be in my description box. All right. You ain't got to comment and ask. Just click the link in the descriptions and come get this sauce and come change your life. All right. People don't come around me and not turn up. All right. Anybody that come around me, they're going to get turned up. Right? That's just what it is with me. All right. I know everybody that is on this YouTube channel watching these videos, you guys are getting turned up. Right? I know people's lives is changing. I just like to keep it humble. Right? But we one-on-one over here, man. All right. And people gonna continue to see that every single day. Right? It's hard to not give somebody the credit when they showing up consistently over an extended period of time. Right? I ain't missed one day. Right? I'm posting 2 times a day. Right? A video and a hour and a half long live every single day consistently. Right? Reliable. I'm like a blue chip stock. You know what you're going to get. Right? And you know the value going to continue to increase. That's how we get down over here, y'all. All right? That's how we get down over here. We give out of abundance, right? We give from overflow. We don't worry about, what's going to happen? Who going to pay me? No. I know that I'm blessed beyond measure, right? And I want to be able to help people and help simplify this game. I ain't coming and trying to, sell you a lifestyle. Nah, if you interested in learning how to change your life in the market and you want this stuff simplified, then you're going to find me and you're going to turn up and your life going to change, right? It's really that simple, right? It's really that simple. Okay? So yeah, we're going to keep this going and we're going to make it happen, y'all. All right? So if you're not, be sure to join the Discord tomorrow morning. We're gonna hit some bangers. We're gonna make some bread. All right. And then we're gonna keep rinsing and repeating until everybody get rich. Right? It's that simple. Keep showing up. Keep allowing your wins to compound. Because $150 don't seem like a lot. But when you add $150 and you add it up times 100 times, that's a lot of money. You see what I'm saying? So never sit here and be like, man, it's only $100. It's only $150. No, $150 ain't a lot of money. But when you do it every single day times 100 days, that's 10 bands, right? That you didn't have to physically work for. You see what I'm saying? Physically work for, right? So, like I always say, y'all, make sure you get up out your head and go get into this world. Because your head is a dangerous place to live. All right? And also remember, I want y'all to say it with me, man. The more you study, the less you worry. All right? I appreciate all y'all time, man. I appreciate y'all for tuning in, tapping in on a late night. All right? Be patient tomorrow. Be disciplined. And make sure you don't make no crazy decisions. No emotional decisions. Keep your emotions intact. And let's get this money tomorrow. And we're going to recap tomorrow what happened in the market tomorrow evening. All right? All y'all have a great night. Y'all stay smooth, man. All right? I'm going to holler at you guys tomorrow. No positions overnight. I'm not holding anything until NVIDIA earnings are done and we have some type of direction. All right? So y'all stay smooth. And I'm going to see you guys tomorrow. Peace.